mama gets to go to Home Depot all by myself and get some lumber. So I thought that I would take you guys along with me so that I can show you, because I get asked this a lot, what kind of wood I use and how I do some of my larger signs. So I'm going to show you how it's done, what I pick, how much everything costs, so that you can get a good idea of what it would be for yourself. And I think that this is important, not to sound like, you know, the things that I make are worth more, but they really are, just because of the materials that go into it. You know, I'm not Hobby Lobby. I don't have like the capital and the endless supply of materials and all that good stuff. So that is why when you're buying something personalized and custom by a maker or a sign maker, whether it's signs or, you know, a decal for your cup or anything like that, that person's time is valuable. And it took me a long time to realize that. I had really cheap prices, and I think I still do, when I first started out. And then I really had to reconsider what my time was worth and what my designs were worth, because when I make a sign, not to toot my own horn, but I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I've never done a design yet. Well, I've done one that I did not like, but it was completely custom, and you know, that's that, whatever. It was when I first started out. But there has not been a sign otherwise that's my design, with someone else's like idea, maybe a quote or something, but I haven't made one with my design that I didn't absolutely love and honestly want to keep for myself afterwards. So I had to kind of try to put a value on that. So I'll give you guys an idea of what the materials cost, and then probably go over, sorry, my radio's on, probably go over what I use as a formula to calculate like how much a sign would cost. Typically for my big ones, it's $10 a square foot, and I round up. So if it's almost a full foot in one direction or another, or if it's over a foot in general, then I charge an additional $10. And that's because of the supplies, because of my time, and because the larger the sign, the bigger the headache sometimes. So I really try to keep all of that, you know, in mind when I'm quoting people for signs. I'll usually give them like a baseline quote, and then we kind of go from there as I design it, and then I'll let them know a final estimate like before I'm all done. So yeah, I'm going to take you guys with me to Home Depot, so just stay tuned and I will show you how I get my lumber and all that good stuff. So the closest area of wood to the entrance of the store is where I get my frame pieces, and these are just the 1x2 inch by 8 foot long boards, and this is how I tell if they're straight or not. I hold them out and I look down the nose of the wood just to make sure they're not bowed like crazy. And these are only $122 each, and they make great frame wood. And now I'm gonna head down to the common pine boards, and I'm going to grab a couple of 1x6s in different lengths. So I need 2 of these 6 foot ones, and then I'm also gonna pick out 2 8 foot ones. So the 8 foot long 1x6s will actually make a sign each. I'm going to use those for some welcome signs, and then the 2 6 foot long ones are going to be for one welcome sign, and that will be a 6 foot tall one. So I'm making a little bit of a taller one this time, and then I do the same thing that I did on those frame pieces, where I look down the nose of the wood to see if it's bowed and crooked. And I actually learned that from my husband, so thanks honey for teaching me that little trick. But it takes a few usually when I go through the stacks. Luckily they had quite a bit of lumber when I went this time. Sometimes it's pretty bare and I'll have to go a couple of times to get the wood that I need for my signs, but I was able to find what I needed this trip. So when I'm trying to give someone an estimate, I will generally take whatever materials cost for a project and multiply that by 3. So that includes my stain, the lumber, nails, paint, my vinyl material, all of that, and that goes into that number, and then I multiply it by 3. And then for the farmhouse style signs, like I was saying earlier, I generally do $10 per square foot for those signs. So if it's a 2x4 sign, that's typically going to be about $80. Unless it's a smaller sign like a 1 foot by 1 foot farmhouse sign, then they start at $23. I had to go through quite a few of the 8-footers to find some that were not bowed or crooked all the way down. So that's what I'm doing here. You just have to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince, I guess, with the wood. And it's so funny because I get so many stares, especially from men when I'm buying lumber. I think that they're just kind of shocked that I might be doing this. Even the Home Depot staff, who are super sweet, by the way, and you'll see a couple of them in this vlog, they even kind of look at me like, what? You know, it's a little unexpected when a woman's coming in and buying up a bunch of lumber. So once I finish grabbing the common pine boards that I needed for my projects, I'm going to head over here to the plywood aisle. And the one I use is this one right here. It is a 3/4 inch wide plywood, and these sheets are 4 feet by 8 feet, and this is the sanded pine. And then this is the part of the vlog that I wanted to show you guys how you guys can make signs at home as well without having to have a saw at home. So for the big farmhouse signs, you're probably going to want a saw at home for making your frame pieces. But for the main piece of plywood, you can actually have them cut it down to size for you at Home Depot. Usually they'll do all of my cuts for free because I don't take advantage of it. I'm not having them do like 15 cuts. I think there is a really small fee if you want to have it cut any smaller than what I did. I did 4 sheets of 2 foot by 4 foot for the plywood. But then for other signs, like if you want to build a pallet sign or something like that, you can totally have your 1x6s or 1x8s or 1x4s, whatever you want to use to make a pallet sign. You can have all of that cut down as well in the lumber department, and they're usually really helpful, and they will totally hook you up and do your cuts for you. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a saw at home and you would like to make your own signs, then you can always do that. So today I had to drive my Expedition because it was snowing and raining off and on, and I did not want my lumber to get wet, so I didn't drive the truck. So I'm going to finish loading all this up. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and that you learned some tips and tricks if you want to make some signs at home. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I do read all of the comments, so that is always super fun. And if you guys do a project after one of my tutorials, please share it to your Insta stories or leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe one, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.